We already know that based on EgyptAir 990 as precedent that not only does a 767 not have the capability of such speeds, but according to EgyptAir 990, such speeds also cause structural failure. But let's explore the hypothetical that an unmodified 767 can obtain such speeds intact. Again, there is a reason the manufacturer set speed limitations. These factors include flutter, as we have seen, but other factors include control surface effectiveness, center of pressure versus center of gravity, trim characteristics, to just name a few. When aircraft exceed their design limits, control effectiveness becomes increasingly non-existent. For example, as airspeed increases, the wing generates more lift. Therefore, the pilot needs to push the nose down. Trim is used to relieve these pressures. There comes a point when the airspeed is so great that the throw on the elevator and trim are at their limits and no longer can keep the nose down, and the aircraft is now said to be out of control. The elevator and trim only move so much. Conversely, and a bit more technical, center of pressure moves aft as airspeed increases. If this center of pressure becomes too far aft, the controls may reverse, in which you cannot keep the nose up. This is known as mock tuck, and the faster you accelerate, the more the nose wants to push down. What happens when going downhill? The aircraft wants to accelerate more. Again, the aircraft is out of control. Further control reversal comes into play. Ailerons are used to turn an aircraft. One goes up, the relative wind hits it and pushes that wing down. On the other wing, the opposite aileron is moving down to push that wing up. At excessive speeds, the down aileron grabs more air from the relative wind and actually causes more drag, pulling the aircraft in that direction, opposite the turn. The pilot wants to turn right, but the aircraft turns left. This is called control reversal, and again, the aircraft is out of control. These are just some of the basic reasons manufacturers set airspeed limitations for an airframe. Again, hypothetically speaking, even if the structure remained intact at such excessive speeds, could these hijacker pilots counter such factors? Perhaps this is just another reason why so many experienced aviation professionals are raising their red flags on the government story, and the list grows. Bottom line, it's highly unlikely the damage done to the World Trade Center and the Pentagon was caused by the reported hijackers in which their best pilot could not control a single-engine Cessna at 65 knots. Some like to argue that since the World Trade Center buildings were some of the tallest in the world, that the buildings make an easy target to hit with a commercial airliner. Navy pilots take pride in the fact that they are set apart from other pilots since they perform operations from an aircraft carrier with very small margins for error. Navy pilots know the skill it takes to hit such a target, even at landing speeds in highly maneuverable jet fighter aircraft. It is contradictory to suggest that the World Trade Center is so large as an excuse for hijacker pilot ability, while at the same time taking pride in some of our best pilots who use almost the same size target to tout their stick ability. Combine that with the added controllability factors at high speeds and dynamic pressures, it is absurd to think these hijacker pilots who couldn't control a 172 at 65 knots could easily hit their targets, completely and thoroughly, especially being 3 for 3. Pilots for 9/11 Truth have now analyzed the aviation aspects for each event which occurred on 9/11. The Pentagon, Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and now New York City. Thorough analysis proves what we've been told by the 9/11 Commission is a lie. It's interesting to note the reported aircraft, which have numerous videos and witnesses to the event, do not have recorded black box data available, and of the data of which is available, prove impossible speeds for airline fleet transport category aircraft. Those events for 9/11 which do not have any videos and very limited witnesses, most conflicting with the government story, do have data available allegedly from these aircraft. Unfortunately, all data, whether from black boxes or radar, does not support the government story, or is physically impossible. It appears at every turn there are grave conflicts with the government story. Why is current foreign and domestic policy being dictated based on an investigation with a growing mountain of conflicts? Why was the 9/11 investigation underfunded and set up to fail. It's time to get to the truth. Contact your representatives and demand a thorough, independent investigation. Advise them to be on the right side of history.